Hi, this is Jeff with the Halcyon Masters. The purpose of the Heroic Ties series is to connect the dots between the heroes of Vainglory. Most of the characters you can play in the game, but there are some non-playable characters that make a big impact in the stories and lives of our favorite heroes. One such character is the dwarf Frankie. Frankie, for those that don't know, constructed Alpha for the Storm Queen, and in the alternative Fate lore, built Saw's Tier 3 armor, and ironically, the SAWborg that are hunting him. If you've not yet seen those videos, you can get the link in the card located in the upper right hand corner or in the description below. Well, back to our story. Frankie only cares about his work and pushing the bounds of science. That work landed Frankie in jail, and he's now a garbage man. This prison doesn't use a trash compactor. Instead, they have a giant beast whose stomach can digest almost anything. This beast is known as a Grumpjaw. While Frankie fed him barrel after barrel of toxic waste, Frankie spoke about his past work, specifically in the area of time travel. Frankie explained to the simple-minded Grumpjaw that time travel is not about time, but about speed. In his previous tests, he could move a person ahead in time 2 minutes, but he did not calculate for the movement of the planet. His test subjects spent those 2 minutes frozen in space before the planet caught up with them. Whoops. The second whoops is that the device will crush a traveler unless protected. Out of these two little blunders, Frankie figured out how to compensate for the planet's movement and how to protect himself. To get his plan in motion, he first needed to befriend Grumpjaw, and there's no better way to a person's heart than through food. Grumpjaw likes rabbit stew, boar bacon, and shoes, but he loves a well-aged blue cheese and, most of all, cake. These are certainly better than the putrid chemicals the warden forced down his throat. Frankie was quick to tell Grumpjaw that all prisoners have rights, and it was not fair to be forced to eat these chemicals. When they would get out of prison, the first thing Frankie would do is make Grumpjaw a cake, and make him one every year for his birthday. Grumpjaw picked up on the word out, and Frankie continued to share his plan. They were going to break into the warden's office and steal back the time-traveling cube. Then Grumpjaw would swallow Frankie, acting as his protective shield, and then off they would go to October 21st, 2015. Sorry, that's the wrong date in a different story. Back to this story. Frankie said, after we get the cube and you spit me out in one piece, I'll make you the cake.
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake? Responded Frankie. With Grumpjaw on board, Frankie had to get the two of them into the warden's office. He looked at the chains that held Grumpjaw and noticed the prison purchased the cheap carbon grade 30 chains. So Frankie directed Grumpjaw to twist and push. And sure enough, that little extra force snapped the chains and he was free. Grumpjaw charged the steel door and busted it open. Just on the other side of the wall was the warden's office. Again, the two charged and burst into the office. One of the guards tried to scream but was swallowed whole by the giant beast. The warden hid under his desk but was called out by Frankie. Hand over the cube. The warden threw the cube across the room and said, we couldn't get this thing to work anyway. Plus, you'll never get out alive. I've given the order to shoot you and this animal on sight. He has a name.
Grumpjaw.
They forced the warden out of the office and Frankie went to work on the cube. He drew mathematical formulas in midair and the cube hovered and accepted Frankie's commands. He set it to take them back 182.6 days. Frankie ran over to Grumpjaw and jumped into the giant's mouth. Something tickled Grumpjaw's stomach, and he remembered that Frankie was inside. Cake? Yes, my friend, there will be cake. But this is where everything went wrong, and I need to tend to a matter upstairs. That concludes Grumpjaw's hero lore. But if I may take a second to theory craft, I believe Frankie brought them back to the final battle between Alpha and the remaining Storm Guard. At the top of the tower, Alpha was hunting Catherine, Kestrel, and the remaining Storm Guard, including a mage named Amy. Amy, with the help of her phoenix, forced Alpha into the elevator, but Alpha was able to escape at the last second, separating the cables that held the car and causing it to crash with the mage inside. When Frankie says that he went back to where it all went wrong, well, this is as good of choice as any. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you want to get caught up on the Stormguard saga, which features Alpha, Kestrel, and Catherine, check out the video link at the end. Thank you again for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, we'll see you on the Halcyon Fold.